Hello, my name is Abigail Riego de Dios. I will be performing two monologues, the first being from A Doll's House by Henrik Ibsen, the second being from An Ideal Husband by Oscar Wilde. It is perfectly true, Tybalt. When I was with Papa, he told me his opinion about everything, and so I had the same opinions. And if I differed from them, I concealed the facts because he would not have liked that. He called me his doll child, and he played with me just as I used to play with my dolls. And when I came to live with you, I was simply transferred from Papa's hands into yours. You arranged everything to your own taste, so that I had the same taste as you, or else I pretended to. I'm not really quite sure which. I think sometimes one and sometimes the other. When I look back upon it, it seems to me that I have been living here like a poor woman, just from hand to mouth. I have merely existed to perform tricks for you to vault. But you would have it so. You and Papa have committed a great sin against me, and it is your fault. I have made nothing of my life. You neither think nor talk like the man I could buy myself to. And when the whole thing's passed, as far as you're concerned, it was exactly as if nothing at all had happened. Exactly as before, I was your skylark. Your doll. Tybalt, it was then it dawned upon me that for 8 years, I had been living here with a strange man, and bore him 3 children. No, I could not bear the thought. I could tear myself to little bits. Well, Tommy proposed to me again. Tommy really does nothing but propose to me. He proposed to me last night in the music room while I was quite unprotected, as there was an elaborate trio going on. I didn't dare make the smallest repartee. If I did, the music would have stopped at once. Musical people are so absurdly unreasonable. They always want to be perfectly dumb at the moment that one wants to be absolutely deaf. Then he proposed to me in the broad daylight this morning in front of that horrid statue of Achilles. Really, the things that happened in front of that work of art are quite appalling. They should call the police. By lunchtime, I saw by the glare of his eyes that he was going to propose again. I just managed to check him in by assuring him I was a bimetallist. Fortunately, I don't know what bimetallism means. And then the way that Tommy proposes is so annoying. If he proposed at the top of his voice, I should not mind so much. But he does it in the most horrid, confidential way. Oh, I wish, Gertrude, you'd speak to him and tell him that once a week is quite plenty to propose to anyone. And it should always be done in the manner that attracts some attention. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Lexie Eckles.
And I'm Annie Hennen. And today we will be performing a scene from A Bad Year for Tomatoes
By Don Patrick. Mrs. Dirtle?
Who? Oh, yes.
My name is Willimaine Wilcox.
Oh, you must be the neighbor with purple shutters.
Am I interrupting anything?
Well, as a matter of fact,
I won't stay long.
It's quite all right. Do come in.
I would have come sooner, but the signs were wrong.
The signs?
Are you Pisces?
Gemini.
That's good. That's very, very good. We could be very good friends. Very good. I think I was followed. No one likes me in this town.
Oh, I'm sure you're wrong. That's a lovely dwarf in your front yard. Did you make it yourself?
What dwarf?
The one sitting on a toadstool.
That's a statue of my husband.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I didn't mean to offend you. That's the last thing in the world I'd want to do.
You didn't offend me. My husband was a mental dwarf. Everything about him was little. I put the statue there to spite him. May I see your hands?
My hands?
Those things hanging at your sides?
Oh, these. Of course.
I'd like to see them. Palms up.
Do you read palms?
I read palms, fortunes, tea leaves, dreams, cards, coffee grounds, past, the future, and spider webs.
Must keep you busy.
Aha!
What do you see?
I thought so.
What?
Spread your fingers.
Are you on to something?
Were you near death in 1962?
No, why?
according to this hand, you should be dead. Let's see the other hand.
I'm left-handed, doesn't matter.
No, not to me. Oh, here it is.
What?
Your lifeline picks up in this hand.
Something bad?
Do you know Macbeth?
Macbeth who?
Hear the blood still, and the perfumes of Arabia shall not sweeten this little hand.
Blood? Where do you see blood? Is someone going to be murdered?
What time is it?
Pacific Standard or Mountain?
Doesn't matter. It's time for my seance. I'm calling my husband back.
I thought you didn't speak.
We didn't, but he forgot to tell me where he left the deed to his house.
But you're leaving me with the murder on my hands.
I'll be back after I talk to my husband.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ella Powell. My troop number is 8599. The show I chose was Wicked, written by Winnie Halsman and composed by Stefan Schwartz. Some of the costume designer's responsibilities are designing the costumes and overseeing the costumes construction. They must also meet with other designers to collaborate on design ideas. They would need to meet with the stage manager and director about their ideas for the show and speak with the lighting designer about how the costume materials will look on stage. There are a couple of special costume requirements in the script. Galinda needs a quick change at the end of the first scene to change into her shiz dress. Then, in scene 15, Chistry, the lead flying monkey, sprouts wings in the middle of the scene. When researching Wicked's costumes, I found that Susan Hilftry, the costume designer, had based Galinda's final dress on the sky and the clouds. In contrast, Elphaba's final dress was based on the earth with its dark colors and different fabric layers to make it look like if you had cut open the earth, you would see all of its layers. I thought long and hard about what I wanted my designs to look like. I realized that if I did the same thing as the show, my designs would not be very original. When I was doing research, I found the stage design was based on the inside of a clock, which gave me the idea to use steampunk as the inspiration for my design. I decided You Give Punk a Bad Name would be the perfect inspiration for my designs. If you have ever watched Wicked, you learn that not everything is as it seems. Some characters you think are the good guys are actually the bad guys, and sometimes the bad guys are actually the good guys. When I was researching steampunk designs, I noticed that there aren't any bright, vibrant colors, mostly dark, monotone colors, which is why in my color palette, the materials are not very bright. When designing Elphaba, I noticed that she is very insecure about her skin and tries to hide it with long sleeves. So I wanted to give her long sleeves and a long dress design that would hide most of her skin. I went back to the idea of having her dress based on the earth, so I tried to show that in her dress pattern with the red splotches, browns, and grays. For the wizard, I wanted to give him more of an inventor look, while still giving him the first-class citizen look. The flying monkeys, one of my favorites, I knew I wanted them to look the most mechanical. While looking for steampunk inspiration, I noticed that there were many animals with lots of metal arms or more gears than others. In the steampunk society, the more gears you have, the lower class you were. So I tried to give him as many gears and metal pieces as possible because in the show, the animals are low class and looked down upon. I wanted to stick with the shade of blue for Galinda's final dress based on the sky and the clouds. I wanted to have her dress be very flowy like the sky. I thought about going with a bright blue, but chose to stick with a darker blue because steampunks don't have very bright colors, they're very monotone. The Scarecrow was probably the hardest character to agree to design for. I didn't want to add too much mechanical pieces and gears out of fear of him looking too much like the Tin Man. I wanted to give him a green coat to represent that he's on Elphaba's side. I also wanted to provide him with a bit of a high-class look because before he was the Scarecrow, he was a prince. Thank you so much for listening to my costume designs today for Wicked. I hope that you really enjoyed my presentation and have a wonderful day.
Hi, My name is Nicole Adams. I will be portraying the role of Charlene from the play Key Lime Pie and Janie from the play Rituals by Jason Milligan. Hi, Miss Weatherford. This is Charlene Wynn. The reason I'm calling is you bought a pie for me yesterday at the Sheridan Country Christian's Women's Bake Sale. Yes, some key lime pie. Right, well, did you by chance happen to eat it yet? You have half of it? Well, that's good because, well, you see, when I was making my pies the day before yesterday, well, it just so happens I was making them over at Trish's house, and she let me try her wedding ring while I was baking, and it got really busy around this place, as you can imagine, what with getting ready for the wedding and all. And we just didn't realize until like 15 minutes ago, but her wedding ring seems to have sort of fallen off my finger and into the lip pie. But we don't know which one, although we think it might be yours. Well, we need to go and do stuff like that now, do we? No, listen, just right there with the fork and see if there's a ring in there. That's all I'm asking. Then why are you threatening to sue me if nobody swallowed it? Look, I know you are such a mean old woman who put is in there with you choke on it, fall over dead, and die! Oh my goodness. I can't believe I just said that. I make lunch for him because that's all I have left. Yes, we have a photo album, but every day they seem more and more like pictures from someone else's life, places I never was, things I never did. The days are so long, so hard to get through, and this is the only moment of pure joy I have left. This is the only way I feel any type of connection anymore. You can call it ridiculous, you can call it insane, you can call it whatever you want. I really don't care. All I know is that it makes me feel the way I used to feel when he was still here. You don't understand it, David, because you want to forget. I don't blame you. It's easier to forget, much easier. But I would rather feel the pain and remember than to have no pain and forget, and that difference, David. That fundamental difference between us scares me. Because it keeps us apart. And it keeps us from healing. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kaitlyn Knight. I am from Troop 8599, and I will be performing for you My Funny Valentine from Babes in Arms by Lawrence Hart. Behold the way our fine feathered friend his virtue doth parade. Thou knowest not, my dim-witted friend, the picture thou hast made. Thy vacant brow and thy tousled hair conceal thy good intent. Thou noble, upright, truthful, sincere, and slightly diligent. Oh, my funny Valentine, sweet comic Valentine, you make me smile with my heart. looks are laughable, unphotographable, yet you're my favorite work of art. Is your figure less than Greek? Is your mouth a little weak when you open it to speak? Are you smart? But don't change your hair for me, not if you care for me. Stay, little Valentine, stay. Each day is Valentine's Day. My funny Valentine, sweet comic Valentine, you make me smile with my heart. Your looks are laughable, unphotographable, yet you're my favorite work of art. Is your figure less than Greek? Is your mouth a little weak when you open it to speak? Are you smart? But don't change your hair for me, not if you care for me. Stay, little Valentine, stay. Each day is Valentine's Day.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Emily Griffith. I'm from Troop 8599. I'll be performing Burn from Hamilton by Lin-Manuel Miranda. I saved every letter you wrote me. From the moment I read them, I knew you were mine. You said you were mine. I thought you were mine. Do you know what Angelica said when we saw your first letter arrive? She said, be careful with that one, love. He will do what it takes to survive. You and your words flooded my senses. Your sentences left me defenseless. You built me palaces out of paragraphs. You built cathedrals. Rereading the letters you wrote me, I'm searching and scanning for answers in every line, for some kind of sign of when you were mine. The world seemed to burn. You published the letter she wrote you. You told the whole world how you brought this girl into our bed, and clearing your name, you have ruined our lives. Do you know what Angelica said when she'd read what you'd done? She said, you have married Icarus, He's flown too close to the sun. You and your words obsessed with your legacy. Your sentences border on senseless, and you are paranoid in every paragraph how they perceive you. I'm erasing myself from the narrative. Let future historians wonder how Eliza reacted when you broke her heart. You've torn it all apart, I'm watching it burn. Watching it burn. The world has no right to my heart. The world has no place in our bed. They don't get to know what I said. I'm burning the memories, burning the letters that might have redeemed you. You forfeit all rights to my heart. You forfeit the place in our bed. You'll sleep in your office instead, with only the memories of when you were mine. I hope that you burn. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nicholas Sibert from Troop 8599, and I will be presenting a scenic design of A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder by Robert L. Friedman. As a scenic designer, I need to research older versions of the show and find what really worked for them, and find out what can be changed, and see if I can make easier way for scenic transitions to be made. While designing the set, I will need to work very closely with light so we can leave room for hanging points, and so colors don't wash anything or anyone out, and so colors won't clash together. My concept was to make it feel like an open, old mansion and make you feel like you were inside watching this story unfold. So first off, we have my script notes. So I read the entire script and then broke it down by scene with important parts of the scene, and then set pieces. Like right here, they're at a desk, so we need to make sure we have a desk for them. Or now they're in a new bachelor apartment, so then we need to make a bachelor apartment set for them. For my show research, I looked at old show reviews and made 3 big bullet points about what I took from them. And then I read some articles about the author, did the same there. And then history of the show, and then other research about the show and just its whole story. For my inspiration board, I looked at older versions of the show, and then a part of it takes place in the manor, and I really feel like library, kind of feel when I think about that. So I just thought maybe like a background for a library kind of thing. And then a therapy couch they're on a lot, so you want to add that and give it that vibe. Here is a older model of the original Broadway set. So you can see they have brighter colors that I wanted to try to incorporate into my design as well, because I don't want it to feel too old and kind of dark looking. Here's also where I got the other idea for the library. It's just a big, open, tall room in an old mansion that kind of just gives off a lot of history vibes, and old books just really seem to do that. So for my design statement, I took all that together and just kind of thought about what parts I liked of a set and what I think of when I think of an old manor or outside in some scenes, or just a bunch of different scenes. And I kind of thought about what I could do with all of them. My color palette, of course, old wood is something you see in a lot of old houses, and they're kind of dark brown and dark red you'll find a lot. But then I wanted to kind of give it some brighter colors, so it kind of doesn't drown out and gives it some more a brighter look to it. For my rough sketch, it's kind of hard to see, but I had some cool designs on the borders, kind of like the other model, and just kind of give it some more of a something to look at than more just being plain. I kind of see they got a couch and a chair. I had a library book backdrop thing, but it kind of looked weird, so I took it out. I thought about having a psych in the background so you could change the colors easily and it reflect the mood, but then put like something in front of the psych to make it feel like you're looking off into a distance, like kind of like trees or like some like weeds or kind of like stuff painted black so that it will glow, but like not be something you pay attention to really. For my scale model, I have a top view, a front view, and a kind of zoomed in view. Kind of going to add everything I wanted to into it. But you can kind of see I got a couch and chair because when they're in the manor, it takes place in a smaller thing to the side. So I kind of made that like a smaller scene. And then they can move over to the rest of the stage for a bigger scene. That is all I have. Thank you.
My name is Brett Bowers, and I will be reciting A Devil's Inside by David Lindsay Arbrar and 368 Friends by Bradley Walton. I passed the shop today, and inside was the dullest looking man I've ever seen fixing a toaster. And I thought, what if I killed him? What if I pulled out a gun and shot this worthless man and no one saw me do it? Would I get away with it? Would anyone even care that this man was dead? Would I feel anything having done it? Strange thoughts, right? Amusing things to think about. And I went on with my day. But you know what? I couldn't get those ideas out of my head. They're like a persistent tune I can't shake. Even now, I'm up here supposed to be lecturing about crime and punishment, and I can't stop thinking about that man. Does that remind you of Razgalanov? His obsession with the woman he wants to murder? His justifying her death by her worthless place in society and her mistreatment of others. None of us are far from that man that shills his way through the novel, are we? I clicked on the tab to update my status and I typed in that I was sad. That was it. No need to write a book. I just wanted to let my friends know how I felt. To give someone the chance to say something to make me feel better. Except no one did. I stared at the computer for 4 hours. Nobody responded. I finally went to bed and I checked as soon as I got up the next day and still nothing. That night I posted that I was depressed. No responses. Nothing the next day. Hadn't anyone noticed my post? Didn't anyone notice the way I was acting at school? How I was slouching, how I avoided eye contact, how I barely touched my food, or didn't anyone care? 2 hours ago, I posted that at 10 tonight, I was going to go to the playground at the park, 2 blocks from my house, and I was gonna sit at the base of the slide and swallow a bottle of my pills. To my mild surprise, 3 of my friends actually chimed in, telling me not to do it and that things would get better. But no one called my house, even though my number is listed on my profile, and no one's here now. It's 10:02 and I'm the only one. I wonder if anyone will notice that I'm not in school tomorrow. Probably not, but eventually they will find out what happened. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Brandon Heflin.
And I'm Kalista Brown.
And we are from Troop 8599, and today we'll be singing It Only Takes a Taste from Waitress by Sarah Bareilles. You know, seeing you sitting here all by yourself in your uniform, you remind me of a girl I once knew. God, by now she's well in middle age. Probably 41 or 42.
Huh, thank you?
What? Oh my god, no. She was a waitress at a shop I used to frequent quite a lot. Nice teeth and small hands and snuck me goodies I couldn't afford then. She was sweet too. Reminds me of you.
Well, nobody ever really thinks of me that way, so...
Well, somebody did, right?
Huh?
Yeah, no, the baby? Oh, she baked the pies trish every day, like you, I guess. But I must say, if pies were books, yours would be Shakespeare's letters. You remind me of her, but better. It only takes a taste when it's something special. It only takes a taste when you know it's good. Sometimes one bite is more than enough to know you want more of the thing you just got a taste of.
That reminds me of a thing we would say. Me and my mama in the kitchen when we bake. She'd say, Jenna, you can tell the whole story with a taste.
Yeah, I know that's exactly what I mean. I swear that as the flavors mixed and melted, I could hear the sirens sing. It was truly something special, one taste, and I want the whole thing. I must say, it felt like I got carried away. Intoxicated, made me escape the room I was in. I can't help but wondering how your hands must have felt, creating such a masterful thing.
Just one bite caused all that wonder.
It only takes a taste.
It only takes a taste
when you know it's good. Sometimes one bite is more than enough to know you want more of the thing you just got a taste of.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Lexie Eckles. I am from Troop 8599, and I will be singing Someone Else's Story from Chess by Tim Bryce. Long ago, in someone else's lifetime, someone with my name who looked a lot like me came to know a man and made a promise he only had to say, and that's where she would be. Lately, although the feelings run just as deep, the promise she made has grown impossible to keep, and yet I wish it wasn't so. Will he miss me if I go? In a way, it's someone else's story. I don't see myself as taking part at all. Yesterday, a girl that I was fond of finally could see the writing on the wall. Sadly, she realized she'd left him behind. And sadder than that, she knew he wouldn't even mind. And though there's nothing left to say, would he listen if I stay? It's all very well to say you've gone. It's now or never. I could be choosing no choices whatsoever. I could be in someone else's story, in someone else's life, and he could be in mine. I don't see a reason to be lonely. I could take my chance Thank you.
Hi, my name is David Morones, and today I'll be showing my costume design for my favorite musical ever, In the Heights, by Lin-Manuel Miranda. So quickly for my design statement, it's about Chola and Chola culture. So mainly, it's a hidden culture within the Hispanic community, especially for us living in the ghetto. It's something that we use to identify ourselves. Sometimes we could be shown as thuggish. The main reason I'm using Chola culture is because originally in the Heights Broadway run, the costumes were designed by Scott Westervelt, who was a white man and who didn't understand or didn't even know of the culture. So he incidentally gentrified a musical which is about gentrification. So mainly, I wanted to redo his work while portraying Chola culture correctly. There were some minor costume changes within the show. Only like two characters really did. I tried to make sure that the costumes fit the choreography of the show, fit the aesthetic, or the setting, which was the late 90s, mid 2000s, or even today. I also made sure that obviously it made sense for the character and that it fit the character's race, ethnicity, or culture. Now, some quick research. In the Heights was written in 1999. Later, it was accepted by Wesleyan University's second theater company, student theater company, Second Stage. And then later in 2002, Miranda worked with director Thomas Carroll, made the first five drafts in the Heights. It opened in 2007 and closed in 2009. And a film adaptation is in the works and is to be released next year. Now here's my color palette / inspiration board. As you can see, a plain white t-shirt is a staple within Cholo culture. Black shorts or pants, khakis are also very prominent, and bandanas, obviously. For colors, made sure to use red and a pink for a feminine touch, gold for the accessories, a brown / dark green with uh, to go with the colors, and white because it's a staple. Now here's some early sketches. Obviously, some I have spent more times than others. And finally, here's some of my final renditions. So from left to right, Nina Rosario, she's the instant girl who comes from a ghetto background. So I kept that plaid pattern on her dress with the staple white shirt, a necklace for a feminine touch. Feminine Graffiti Pete, he is your Cholo character. He has a muscle shirt, black shorts, some off-white Jordans. And then Vanessa, she's the love interest. She's your typical modern day Chola. So as you can see, she's wearing bandana, which is a popular trend in Chola culture. Some Air Force Ones and just regular denim pants. Daniela, she's a middle-aged woman who likes to feel young and dances a lot. So I made sure the dress fit her culture with the guava flower and made sure it was easy to dance within. And then Benny, he's the only character who is not Hispanic or Latino. So I made him a white American man, and he knows he's a pretty boy, so he likes to accentuate his body, etc. So that's all for my project. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching.
Why, when you see boys fight, does it look so horrible yet? Feels so right. I shouldn't watch this crap, that's not who I am. But with this kid, damn. Hey, Mr. No Name Kid, so who might you be? And could you fight for me? And hey, could you face the crowd? Could you be seen with me and still act proud? Hey, could you hold my hand? And could you carry me through no man's land? It's fine if you don't agree, but I would fight for you fight for me. Let them drive us underground. I don't care how far. You can set my broken bones, and I know CPR. Wow, whoa. You can punch real good. You've lasted longer than I thought you would. So hey, Mr. No-Name Kid, if some night you're free, will you fight for me? If you're still alive, I would fight for you. If you would fight for me.
Hi, my name is Hailey Brooks from Troop 8599, and today I will be talking about my costume design from the musical The King and I by Rodgers and Hammerstein. First, I'm going to talk about my roles and responsibilities as a costume designer. I really had to take a leadership role and make sure that I knew exactly what I wanted and exactly what I needed to do. I made a schedule, I knew my deadlines, I knew exactly what I wanted, and I executed that. And my responsibilities, I had never actually heard of this show before, so when I was looking up possible shows with different cultures, I really wanted to expand my knowledge on different cultures and portray that through my costumes. So I decided that I would do a show about ancient Thailand, which, as we know, is very different from today's American culture, which I thought was very interesting. I had to do a lot of research as to why they wore what they wore, what they wore meant, what different social classes were, and with this I had to collaborate with my costume crew a lot. I taught them about why they were using what they were using, why they were making what they were making. They didn't really understand. They wouldn't understand if I didn't tell them. And I also would have to work with a lighting crew because lights can make costumes look very different on stage. It can completely change the color, like if you were to use a beige costume with bright blue lights, it would make the costume bright blue. Now, I would also have to work with my director and mentor and make sure that there weren't any specific things that they wanted, or there were specific things that they wanted that I would need to tie into my designs. Now, for my concept, I decided that it would be growth of the mind and soul. Each character developed majorly throughout the show in their mind and soul. They were learning the entire show about Western culture, Europe, and what they were learning about each other's cultures, basically. And I really thought that was very interesting because the king actually was very naive, very bossy, very, I am the king, obey me. And throughout the show, he learned a lot more about himself, the religion that he loves, and he changed very much throughout the show. He's very traditional, but he stays throughout that, so I made sure his costume was traditional for a king in ancient Thailand. Now, for my script notes, I actually read through the script once first to make sure that I could get a broad idea of what the show was. Then I went through and I took some notes, specifically on things like when they brought the map in, they said that ancient Thailand is red, so I incorporated that into some of my designs. I incorporated red. They learned what snow was, and they described it as white lace, so I incorporated white lace into Anna Leonowen's ball gown. And then I also made sure that there weren't any specific things I needed. Like if I were to do Anna in the beginning, she had a bonnet on, it noted that. And I also did a lot of research on her and her real story. She was a real person. Her story was real, but quite different from how the musical tells it. And I did a lot of research on the king's son, who is also real and also very different from how the musical portrayed them. But then I did a design statement which explained my concept pretty well, I'd say. And then I did a lot of inspiration boards and mood boards because I really wanted to make sure that each character had a specific color. With King Part 1, he was red and gold to portray just very simplistic, traditional. Then King 2, he was royal blue, much more gold, more patterns. He had a big gold crown and a staff or walker, I could say, because he was getting older, with a Buddha on the top because he was very, very, very real about his Buddhism. And then for Anna Leonowen's ball gown, I decided to go with a velvety red, the lace along it. I just wanted it to look very England because that's where she was from. She was from Europe, and I believe she was in Western England as well. Now, for Tuptim, I decided to go with a blue and black mesh look because she was very unhappy, a very sad girl, like she could not be with her lover she was so deeply in love with, and they were forced to be apart because she was a gift to the king. Then I decided to do an exotic bird dancer because I decided that I wanted it to be very airy and flowy, and I wanted it to have a very rope and nature look. So I portrayed all of these in my designs virtually. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Meredith McCalmon, and today I will be performing I Think That He Likes Me from Out of Our Heads by Cumin and Diamond. Am I totally crazy? He was totally strange. Did I miss something? Maybe. Did he suddenly change? We were just hanging out, right? We were two best friends on a Saturday night. Nothing unusual, but I swear, somehow something different was in the air. His hand brushed my cheek, he struggled to speak, almost like he likes me. He looked at me weird, his smirk disappeared, like someone who likes me. The way that his blue-green eyes met mine sent shivers all up and down my spine, and something just clicked, I think that he likes me. We went for a walk, too nervous to talk, so maybe he likes me. He stared at his feet, so awkward but sweet, like someone who likes me. Could this be some long-denied desire? My head is a blur, my heart's on fire, but one thing is clear, I think that he likes me. And I wonder just what was on his mind. Did he sense something new? Did he suddenly find a world kind of lighter and brighter somehow? Was he searching for signs that he wasn't before? Imagining things that he couldn't ignore? Was he feeling this feeling that I'm feeling now? We go to my place, I looked at his face and saw that he likes me. We say our goodbyes, he avoided my eyes, can't admit that he likes me. He turns as I watch him walk away, while secretly wishing that he'd stay and hold me real close, impossibly tight, and there in his arms I'd be all night. We finally kiss, so long overdue, and I know that he likes me. I think I like him too. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Annie Hennen from Troop 8599, and today I will be performing Enlightenment from Starry by Matt Don and Kelly D'Angelo. I used to play the piano, born and raised every day to entertain. I was a wild and lively child, and those sparkles in my eyes still remain. I know there's more to learn, I know there's more to be, as all the rays of the sun shine beyond the sea. Every moment with the intent to find enlightenment. Now I'm a teacher
searching for simplicity, will never write a page of history. There's so much more to learn, there's so much more to be. Always shine to redefine our humanity. Every moment we feel dissent, we'll find the night before the falling of sunset. And every morning we'll wake with the intent to find enlightenment.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Lorelei Frazee. I am in trip number 8599. I will be performing the song I Could Have Danced All Night, composed by Frederick Lowe and written by Alan J. Lerner. Bed, I couldn't go to bed. My head's too light to try to set it down. Sleep, I couldn't sleep tonight. Not for all the jewels in the crown. I could have danced all night. I could have danced all night. And still have begged for more. I could have spread my wings and done 1,000 things I've never done before. I'll never know what made it so exciting. Why all at once my heart took flight. I only know when he began to dance with me, I could have danced all night. I could have danced all night. I could have danced all night. And still have begged for more. I could have spread my wings and done you.
Hi, my name is Hailey Royer. I am a part of Thespian Troupe 8599, and I was the sound designer for Olathe West's winter play, Cash on Delivery by Michael Cooney. As sound designer, I have a few different jobs that I have to take care of throughout the design and show process. I have to be able to create an environment for the audience, making it feel like they're a part of the universe that the characters are in, rather than just sitting in a chair watching something happen in front of them. I have to be able to monitor and mix mic levels to help create that environment and make it seem like just a normal conversation between characters. And I have to be able to ensure the care of all of the equipment used, including the mics that the actors are wearing, making sure that if they need to adjust their mic and a crew member is not available, they know how to without breaking the wire. I had the opportunity to collaborate with our lighting crew a lot with this show. Toward the end of Act 2, there was a large chaos scene, as I personally refer to it as. A lot of thunder and lightning, and both crews had different cues that needed to happen at the same time. So we combined the cues into the sound booth cue lab system so that with one push of a button, we could fire the cue and everything could run all together without having to collaborate between two different computers. And the props crew also needed to collaborate on timing with us during that scene. My design concept was very simple. Reading through the script, I took note of the setting and the different plot points. Basically, modern day rainy London. The rain seemed to be used to reflect the plot and storyline and the emotions of the characters as the story went along. And overall, I wanted to give the audience sort of a sitcom feel. There were a lot of moments of laughter that happened when we put the show on that really made it feel like you were just sitting in your living room watching a show with your family. Here are just a few of my design documents. My design statement fleshed out a bit more. The mic plot to organize actors, characters, and what mic pack they had, as well as some script requirements that I took down as I was reading through the script. And then my sound cue list to organize exactly which cues were to happen at what point. These are a few of the sounds I took inspiration from. A lot of in-home sounds such as phones ringing or doorbells chiming. And then this thunder strike, this was the big thunder strikes that happened during the chaos scene that were paired with the lightning from the lighting crew. The rolling thunder was just to keep the effect that a storm was happening during that entire time, even without the thunder happening repeatedly. These are just some screenshots of my QLab show. Unfortunately, I don't have a video of the thunder and lightning effect, but these are just to show what the cues look like when they are put into the system and what they look like when they are being run from the booth. Here are the three different thunder effects. And you can see the purple is where our sound cue was and the gray is where the lighting cue was. So we were able to fire them all together from one system. And that is my show. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sheridan Sears from Troupe 8599, and I will be portraying the role of Helena from A Midsummer Night's Dream by Shakespeare. Oh, I am out of breath in this fond chase. The more my prey, the lesser is my grace. Happy is Hermia wheresoever she lies, for she hath blessed and attractive eyes. How came her eyes so bright, not with salt tears? If so, my eyes are oftener washed than hers. No, no, for I am as ugly as a bear, for beasts that meet me run away for fear. But who is here? Lysander on the ground, dead or asleep. I see no blood, no wound. Lysander, if you live, good sir, awake! Thank you. Now I'll be portraying the role of Jessie from Night Mother by Marsha Norman. I am what became of your child. I found an old baby picture of me, but it was somebody else, not me. It was somebody pink and fat who never heard of sick or lonely. Somebody who cried and got fed and reached up and got held and kicked but didn't hurt anybody, and slept whenever she wanted to just by closing her eyes. Somebody who mainly just laid there and laughed at the colors waving around over her head and chewed on a polka-dotted whale and woke up knowing some new trick nearly every day, and rolled over and drooled on the sheet and felt your hand pulling my quilt back up over me. That's who I started out, and this is who is left. That's what this is about. Thank you.
Hello, I am Brandon Wilcox.
And I am Gabe Valencia.
We are from Troop 8599, and today we'll be performing a selection from 1984 by George Orwell.
If you have any questions, you may ask them.
Any question I like? Is the
switched off?
What have you done with Julia?
She betrayed you, unreservedly. I've seldom seen anyone come over to us so promptly.
You tortured her. Does Big Brother exist?
Of course he exists. The party exists. Big Brother is the embodiment of the party.
I mean, does he exist in the way that I exist?
You do not exist. You do not exist, Winston.
I think I exist. I was born, I'll die. I occupy space. Nothing else can occupy that same space that I do simultaneously. In that sense, concretely, does Big Brother exist?
It is of no importance in what sense. He exists.
Will Big Brother ever die?
Of course not. How could he die?
Does the Brotherhood exist?
Winston, if we set you free when we have finished here, and you live to be 90 years old, you will never learn the answer to that question. As long as you live, it will be an unsolved riddle in your mind.
But the book that I wrote...
I wrote it, Winston. That is, I collaborated in writing it.
Is it real? Is it true, what it says?
As description, yes. The program it sets forth is nonsense. The people are not going to revolt. They will not look up from their screens long enough to notice what's really happening. The individual is dead, Winston. The party is immortal. And the party will always win. We are so nearly there. You are almost perfect. There is no pain you can now withstand. There's nothing to which you have not confessed. There's nothing left for you to hold on to.
One thing left.
I didn't hear you, Winston.
One thing left. I never betrayed Julia. I never betrayed her.
No. That is perfectly true. You have not betrayed Julia. When I told you that you could ask me anything, there was one question that immediately came to mind. You were afraid to ask it because you already knew the answer. The worst thing in the world varies from individual to individual. It may be burial alive or death by fire, or by drowning, or by impalement. Ask the question, Winston.
Where am I now?
Where do you think you are?
I think this is room 101.
And what's in room 101?
The thing that's in room 101 is the worst thing in the world. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Oz Powell from Troop 8599, and today I will be performing a monologue from An Infinite Ache by David Schulner. I've been thinking very hard about life, and my life, and you, which I didn't think I'd have to do at this stage in my life, except I am, so there it is. But the thing about marriage is that I don't even know what the hell it is. I don't think anybody does, until they do it, and they get divorced and try again. Then they'll know what to do, what mistakes there are to make, how to avoid them. So I think, wouldn't it be great if I could marry someone I didn't actually love for practice? I know that's... But then I'll be ready to marry you, and after I get divorced. So our marriage has a better chance to make it. So forever won't just be a word. And love? Love? I would rather go swimming, you know? I hate that word. Love? It's so used up. There's nothing left for me, for us. I'm just an ordinary guy. But no one tells us how ordinary people live. There's nothing I can feel that some man in some Jane Austen movie hasn't felt much stronger. Have you noticed that? That when people fall in love in movies, you never hear what they're saying. And isn't that what really matters? It always happens during some montage sequence, when they're walking in the park, where they're talking in the rain in a park, where they're having a picnic in a park while it's raining. Something quirky and sexy, because only quirky and sexy people deserve to find love. What movie ever captures a real, down-to-earth, boring, basic kind of love? Thank you. Hi, my name is Oz Powell from the Troop 8599, and today I will be performing a monologue from the show Network by Lee Hall. Well, I'm just tired by all this hysteria about Howard Beale. And I'm tired of finding you on the phone every time I turn around. I'm tired of being an accessory in your life. After 6 months of living with you, I'm turning into one of your scripts. But this isn't a script, Diana. There's some real, actual life going on here. I went to visit my wife today. She's so depressed, my daughter flew in from Seattle to be with her. Yes, I feel lousy about that. I feel lousy about the pain I've caused my wife and kids. I feel guilty and conscience-stricken, and all those things you think sentimental, but which my generation called simple human decency. And I miss my home, because I'm beginning to get scared. And it's all suddenly closer to the end than it is to the beginning, and death is suddenly a perceptible thing to me. You've got a man going through primal doubts, Diana, and you've got to cope with it. Because I'm not some guy discussing male menopause on the Barbara Walters show. I'm the man you presumably love. I'm part of your life. I live here. I'm real. You can't switch to another station. I just want you to love me. I just want you to love me, primal doubts and all. We're born in terror, and we live in terror. Life can be endured only as an act of faith, and the only act of faith any of us are capable of is love. You understand that, don't you? You're a wasteland, Diana. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Olivia Keiter, and I'm a part of the troop number 8599, and I will be makeup designing for Beauty and the Beast. The playwright for this is Gabriel Suzanne, and the music is composed by both Howard Ashman and Alan McCann. My roles for this show are making the show really come to life. I really think that makeup is overlooked in a lot of shows without makeup, and really doesn't pull in the audience as much as the director wants it. And then a really big thing that I'm focusing on is that I really want the inanimate objects to look real and to use prosthetics and to really pull in the audience by the wowing factor of the makeup and the costumes. And then, of course, giving each character their own vibe. My responsibilities are, of course, quick makeup changes, making sure the cast members are comfortable so they can act comfortably, and then working with the lighting and costumes, which is on my next slide. Collaborations. I really have to collaborate with both costumes and lighting. I have to make sure that the costumes are matching with the makeup, and the costumes are and the makeup is costing with the makeup is matching with the costumes. And then quick changes, often makeup quick changes comes with costume quick changes, so we have to work together and make sure that runs smoothly. And then accessories, that is one thing that both costumes and makeup clashes. Those are both very close together, and you need to work with each designer and make sure that that's okay and that you agree on what you're doing. And then lighting. Color clashing on stage is a thing, and it can be really bad if you do not communicate. So you need to make sure that the lighting is not clashing with the makeup and the makeup is not clashing with the lighting. My concept and theme for this. My theme is a very earthy vibe, of course, dark blue, the dark red, the dark green, and the yellow. That's a very deep tone because this movie is deep. It is a Disney musical, but it is deep. The Beast is trying to find love and trying to break the curse, and it's passionate. So yeah. So what is this musical? So I'm going to describe what this musical is kind of about. So, Belle and her father are living together, and her father is an inventor, so he's kind of crazy, kind of awesome, and she is very independent, smart, brave, and kind. Gaston wants to take Belle's hand in marriage, and Belle is not about that. So, of course, her father says no, because that's what Belle wants. She doesn't want to marry him, and Gaston is not a fan of that, so Gaston tries to take Belle's father away, and he ends up in the castle with the Beast. And Belle goes after him because of her braveness and her kindness, and she convinces the Beast to trade places with her father. And then eventually the Beast the Beast doesn't describe the inanimate objects in the castle, describe to her about the curse and about what happened, and that he needs to find the love and he needs to break the curse, and the journey begins from there. So my designs. So Belle is very yellow. Her color is yellow. More to the right is what I want her to look like when she's in her ball gown and all dressed up and pretty, but more to the left is at the beginning of the movie, and where she's in her town and she's just a normal girl, and the dirt on the boy's face is kind of what I want to do when she's like running through the woods and looking for her father. So the Beast, I'm really excited for him, and because the prosthetics, the middle picture of him kind of in the middle, I like that because I don't think that is full-on prosthetics. It's a lot of scar wax and a lot of molding of the face, so it's not expensive, because the wig and the horns are going to be pricey, and I really want that. I think that'll really bring the whole Beast vibe together. So yeah, and then of course on the left is when he turns into human. He's very pretty, he's very natural, and yeah. Gaston, he is very loud, and what is loud? Red. Red is very loud, and that is his costume. So of course I'm going to match that, and I might do some blush. I really want to contour because he's very masculine and like very sharp, and so probably not as much as the one in the right top corner, but around that. And then I'm gonna give him a mustache and a little aftershave and dark eyebrows, black hair for sure. LeFou, he is Gaston's right-hand man, basically. He's kind of nerdy, kind of geeky, kind of flamboyant, but of course he's still with the red because he's Gaston's right-hand man. But he's still nerdy, so a lot of blush, a lot of red nose, a lot of just kind of feminine kind of features. And then the candle, I'm so excited for him. I really, 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 really love the picture on the very far right with the long nose. We don't have to do the whole entire hat thing. We can just keep it a wig, but and I will have to blend that out and everything, but I want to keep him looking very plasticky, very waxy because he's a candle. This is definitely using prosthetics and yeah, and of course on the left is what he would look like when he's human. This is probably one of my favorites. Again, right top hand, left corner. That's big full face prosthetic, but I have figured out how to do it, and I'm actually working on trying to do that on myself or someone else, but I'm pretty sure no one wants to have that on their face right now. So yep, and then afterwards I still want to keep those TikTok hand, the clock hands, so give them a very pointy mustache. Mrs. Potts and Chip, they're very purpley, bright blue, pink, and I feel like that's more of a costume thing, so I'm really gonna keep it to the blush and the very candy kind of feel because yeah. And then her father, Maurice, he reminds me of he definitely reminds me of Albert Einstein, as you can see. Crazy hair, he's an inventor, almost kind of like a scientist. Crazy glasses, doing weird stuff with his hat. I wanted to give him an earthy kind of tone because he doesn't have much money, and so he's living in the dirt and he's working through, but he's a happy guy. So yeah. The chorus, as you can see on the left, is very colorful, and that's in the town, and the chorus on the right is in the castle, still very colorful. So of course I'm going to match and respect the costumes designer as much as possible, give them a very bright look for what they want. And my overall theme is giving a really earthy and deep tone. But when the music hits and when at the very end and also at the very beginning, I want it to be very vibrant. Thank you so much for listening. I had a lot of fun with this, and I'm still gonna have a lot of fun with this, and I appreciate everything, and I appreciate for you listening.
Hello, my name is Emma Johnson, and today I will be performing 2 monologues. The first is Deirdre from I Hate Hamlet by Paul Rudnick. The second, Jessie from Night Mother by Marcia Norman. Oh, Andrew, I saw you on that stage last night, and I thought, he has worked so hard for this. I mean, he has put his heart and his soul into this, and at least partly for me, and he is so bad. And I thought I would be demolished, but something happened. I mean, people were coughing, and that plane, it just flew right overhead, and there were all those mosquitoes, and you just kept on going. Oh, Andrew, you are the bravest, noblest man I've ever met. And then I got to thinking about how I'd put you off and how I was not worthy. So you know what I decided to do? I decided to drown myself, just like Ophelia, but in Central Park Lake. Isn't that perfect? So I went behind the theater and I stood up on this rock and I just couldn't do it. So I ran back here because I was so upset, and I went up onto the roof and I gazed up at the moon and I said, "Oh, Mr. Moon, you are so big and round and yellow." I know, everyone's right. Deirdre, get some help. Mama, I only told you I was gonna kill myself so I could explain it, so that you would understand, so that you wouldn't blame yourself. There wasn't anything you could say that could change my mind. I just wanted you to know. How could I think you would understand? How could I think that you would want a manicure, that we could hold hands for an hour and then I could go shoot myself? I'm not giving up, Mama. And I'm sure there are some other things that might work, but might work isn't good enough anymore. I need something that will work. This will work. That's why I picked it. Mama, listen, I am not your child. I am what became of your child. That's what this is about. It's somebody I lost, all right. It's my own self. Someone who I never was, or who I tried to be, but never quite got there. And I never will. So see, Mama, it doesn't much matter what else happens in this world, or in this house even. I'm what was worth waiting for, and I'm not going to show up. I'm not going to make it. And the only reason to stay is to keep you company, and well, that's just not enough reason anymore. Just let me go, Mama. Thank you.